Welcome back, focus learners, to another explainer. Today, we're tackling a seriously critical topic, the exact thing that separates a rock-solid, reliable solar setup from, well, a complete disaster. We are going to master the solar panel datasheet. Now, we aren't going to look at that little sticker on the back of your panel as just some piece of marketing material. Oh no, we're treating it exactly as what it is, a hardcore engineering document. Because here's the truth, if you misunderstand even one single specification on that label, you could easily undersize your wiring, blow your fuses, or honestly, much worse. So picture this. What actually happens if you exceed your MPPT charge controller's voltage limits on a crisp, completely freezing cold morning? Well, it's not just a little drop in efficiency, not even close. A single misunderstood specification here can instantly and permanently destroy your controller. We're talking about a situation that could literally start an electrical fire. The cost of failure here is just incredibly high. Okay, let's dive into this. Here is our roadmap to building a bulletproof, fire-safe solar setup today. First, we'll look at the absolutely expensive mistake most beginners make. Then, we'll decode what we call the core 4 acronyms. After that, we'll jump into the math behind series versus parallel wiring, explore the hidden dangers of cold weather, and wrap the whole thing up with some essential, non-negotiable solar safety rules. Section 1. The expensive mistake. Let's look at why going beyond just the wattage is so absolutely crucial. You know, when beginners start shopping for solar panels, they tend to completely obsess over one single number, the wattage. They just want to know how much raw power the panel produces. But focusing only on power, that completely misses the mark. Failing to understand your voltage limits is exactly what causes catastrophic MPPT controller blowouts. I mean, wattage is nice to know, absolutely, but it's the hidden electrical limits tucked away inside the datasheet that dictate the ultimate survival of your system. Ignore those, and you're going to be replacing some very expensive gear the very first time the sun comes out. Section 2. Decoding the core 4. Let's break down the acronyms that actually keep your equipment from going up in smoke. Let's start right at the top with VOC, which stands for Open Circuit Voltage. Now, what's really wild here is that this number represents the highest possible voltage your panel produces when absolutely nothing is connected to it. No controller, no battery, no load at all. Just the raw, completely unloaded voltage. You have to think of VOC as the absolute ceiling voltage your MPPT controller will ever see. Because controllers have strict maximum input limits, say 100 volts or 150 volts, VOC is literally the most critical number for preventing the total destruction of your equipment. Next up, we have ISC, or short circuit current. This is the absolute maximum current your panel can produce if, say, the positive and negative outputs are shorted directly together. So the really crucial takeaway here is that ISC is the baseline number you absolutely must use for sizing all your safety equipment. Use ISC to calculate your fuse sizes, your wire ampacity, your combiner box protection, the whole shebang. If you get this one wrong, you run the very real risk of undersized protection and, frankly, melting your cables. Then we have VMP, the voltage at maximum power. Now, unlike VOC, which we just said is that unloaded absolute maximum ceiling, VMP is your normal, everyday working voltage. This is the actual voltage the panel operates at when it's fully connected to a load and just happily doing its job out in the sun under real working conditions. And, you know, this brilliantly illustrates a super common misconception. Marketing departments love to slap the term 12-volt panel on the box. But reality? The reality is these things usually have a VMP of 17 to 18 volts. It's called a 12-volt panel because it's engineered to charge a 12-volt battery system, not because the panel itself magically caps its operation at exactly 12 volts. If you wire everything up expecting exactly 12 volts to come out of those cables, well, you're in for a pretty big surprise. Our fourth and final core metric is IMP, the current at maximum power. Just like VMP is your working voltage, IMP is your usable, everyday working current. It's the current flowing while the panel is actively producing power under standard charging conditions. So, how does all of this relate to that wattage number beginners love so much? Well, it's just simple math. Power equals voltage multiplied by current. So, if you take your operating voltage, let's say 40 volts VMP, and multiply it by your operating current, say 10 amps IMP, you get exactly 400 watts. That's your true operating power rating, derived directly from those core operating numbers we just decoded. Section 3 is series versus parallel math. Let's move to and see how this builds when we start combining panels. The second you start wiring multiple panels together, the way you connect your array completely changes the math. Let's quickly walk through this. When you wire panels in series, which means connecting the positive of one to the negative of the next, the voltage adds together but the current stays exactly the same. So three 50-volt panels in series equal a massive 150 volts. That can easily blow past a controller's limits. But what happens when you wire them in parallel? Well, in parallel wiring, the voltage stays the same, but the current adds together. 3 panels producing 11 amps each in parallel equals a very heavy 33 amps. And that means you are suddenly going to need much thicker, heavier copper wire and significantly larger fuses to safely handle that load. Section 4. The cold weather danger. Let's talk about why the weather is basically a wild card. That precise math we just did, the weather is going to dynamically alter it. You have to think of weather as a living, breathing variable in solar engineering. Extreme cold is actually a direct threat to your equipment. Extreme colds causes your open circuit voltage, your VOC, to rise sharply. A panel rated for 50 volts might push well past that on a freezing January morning. If you designed your system right at the absolute limit of your MPPT controller, that cold morning will push the voltage right over the edge and just fry the unit. On the flip side, high heat acts like a thief. It causes your operating voltage, your VMP, to drop heavily, quietly stealing your efficiency and tanking your overall power output. This is exactly why professional engineers never, ever size systems exactly at the controller's printed limits. Section 5. Essential solar safety. Taking all this theory into the real world. Real-world conditions absolutely require strict, uncompromising safety protocols. You always have to remember that every single number on that datasheet is calculated under Standard Test Conditions, or STC. Those are perfect, heavily controlled laboratory conditions. Ideal sunlight, perfectly fixed temperature. But out in the field, up on a hot roof, heat, partial shade, dust, and natural cable losses are going to drastically alter your actual power. Your real-world numbers are almost never going to perfectly match those lab conditions. And because of these unpredictable real-world variables, we have to follow some non-negotiable safety rules. First up, never, ever disconnect your MC4 connectors while under heavy load. Direct current does not self-extinguish like household AC power does. If you pull those connectors apart while power is flowing, you can pull a terrifying, incredibly dangerous DC arc flash. It is no joke. Second, always verify your voltage limits with a multimeter before energizing anything. Third, treat disconnected panels as live DC generators. If the sun is shining on them, they are producing dangerous voltage, even if they aren't plugged into a battery. And finally, always double-check your fuse sizing using the ISC number, not the IMP number, to guarantee your wiring is fully protected. So I want to leave you with this final provocative question. Is your solar array actually as safe as you think it is? Now that you know how to read VOC to protect your controller and ISC to protect your wiring, I highly encourage you to go double-check your own system's math today. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. If this helped you gain a real, practical engineering perspective on your solar setup, make sure you stick around for more real-world insights where we'll keep making the complex completely understandable. Stay safe out there.